want to play with you.
Hi everybody, this is Salvi here with the Vtuber news coming right up for you. Before that, of course, smash that subscribe button, hit that bell, and the like button as well, and let's get right into it. They screwed her over bad. As we go to Grimmi, who used to be a member of Mythic Talent, which is a talent agency that gets you sponsorships, helps you collab with people, do that kind of thing. Mythic is a talent agency, a full-service talent agency management company that was started by Asmongold. You can see some of their big debuts here. Annie, Camila, Chibidoki, Sayu, Ellie, False ID, Fifi, tons and tons of other people, as you can see here. VTubers that I'm focusing on mainly. And it turns out I was right when I said this. Now, it could be many things. It could be they're taking more than what they said they were going to take. It could be that they are like what Vshoujo did back in the day, saying to sponsors, this is how much it is, and then telling her or telling the people like Matarakan and others found out, telling the people who work for them, oh, this is all we could get you for the sponsors, but they're charging like 2x the price, and then giving these people like 50% of it or whatever. And it really is sad that it ended up being like Vshoujo. What am I talking about here? I'm talking about this. This came out recently, about 14 hours ago from the time of making this video. A Mythic Talent Agency alleged to have skimmed money off the top of a sponsor, shorting their talent. This happened to the VTuber Grimmi. Didn't want to blast her name in the title, but at least is already nervous about this. Feels she needs to spread the word. At the moment, there aren't any clips of this. It's only a few hours old, although I'm sure it will appear eventually. And she set the VOD to not show up on Twitch at the moment of writing. I included screenshots of the evidence I could show. She could show because there's evidence. It's technically an accusation, but she specifically is using the word allegation because she's trying to be careful about this. Yes, when it comes to these types of things, you have to be very careful what you do, what you say. Allegations are the best way to put it, because that way you open up yourself to less of, defamation type of thing. Also, if you don't know about her character, she's honest to a fault and truly tries to see the best in everybody all the time. So for her to speak about this, this is difficult, but she wants others with Mythic to know. So it could be happening to others in Mythic. And as I mentioned in the clip that I showed you, Vshoujo is known to do this. That was from the video on the 6th that I did about Grimmi. Grimmi personally befriended a game publisher that had previously sponsored her before, and through speaking to them discovered there were small discrepancy multiple times between what was negotiated amount and what she actually was paid versus what she actually paid for the sponsorship. So yeah, they lied. They did allegedly. There's all allegations. These are all accusations. These are all things that she has proof of on her side, but at least proof that she shows, but they aren't in a court of law. So allegations, accusations, and this is the same thing that Vshoujo did. It was found to have done, that Matarakan talked about, that Michi talked about, that Keisan talked about. So another company doing the same type of things. Now, we're going to go through the different ones here. From Imager link that someone had of the things that she put out here. It says, welcome to that. This is the start of the conversation. It says, deliverables, 1 hour, 1x 2-hour Twitch stream, overlay chatbot, pinned comment, timeline, offer, $2,000. Would it be possible to get the completed signed by both parties in contract for this? Got the contract. Our systems state that it's actually, this is the problem here, that it's actually $2,000 versus $2,000, $2,100 versus $2,000. So I dug into what happened in the typo of the brand, so it's solved between our sales team and their sales team. So you were always going to get the proper amount, just so the information didn't quite reach me, which is still obviously an issue. So $2,100 was originally what they were going to do. They were going to skim $100 off the top, allegedly skim $100 off the top. And it says the outcome of negotiations, she would be paid $2,100. However, the contract she received from Mythic signed was $2,000, 5% difference. Publisher gave her proof that they paid $2,100 to Mythic, bottom bit, and then Mythic sent her $2,000 she was expecting from the contract. When she alerted Mythic after finding out from the publisher, they told her there was a typo on the publisher's end, and she was given additional $100. So when she called them out on their BS, they were like, "Oops, mistake. Sorry. Basically, you caught our fingers in the cookie jar. You caught us with our hand in the cookie jar. We are going to fix it." They didn't tell her that, but that's the way they acted. And it says another one here, also allegedly. This is all alleged, of course. Remember, all alleged. Timeline, $4,000 offer, minus 20%. 1x Twitch stream, $4,400. So they took away 20% this time. Instead of the 5% they did before, they took away 20% this time. Says the outcome was $4,400, but she was told $4,000, 10% difference, or 10% difference in this case. Sorry, bad at math. I'm horrible at math. Sorry. Excuse Mythic gave was that it was an additional fee that was outside the marketing agency. However, it was the exact same people negotiating it both times through the same emails, which makes it very unlikely. There was also some odd mix-up with the length. The publisher said 2 hours, but Grimmi was told 4. The key things here are: 1. Mythic refuses to show that her negotiation documents between Mythic and the publishers to basically show if they're right or wrong after she requested them, only the contract that she signed. And 2, she has many more examples of this behavior, and I believe from multiple publishers, but this was the only publisher that gave her permission to show evidence on stream and publicize. These are not the only incidents, so she has tons of other incidents. That's why she mentioned that she was going to be possibly doing a legal case against them. Remember, she mentioned that there were also going to be possible legal cases. She has to wait and see how things are, and I think she just got tired of it, and I think she just got frustrated with it. The same thing happened with the girls in VShojo, when, like I mentioned, with Keisan and other girls mentioning that, yes, they ended up finding out that VShojo in this case they would say, okay, we're going to charge you this much for the girls to go to your cons, etc., and they would give the girls a much smaller amount. She's keeping those private in case it gets taken to court. And if this has been done to more streamers and larger streamers, it would likely be. She also made it clear that this isn't an expected fee that Mythic is supposed to take. The fact that she was given different excuses for each instance confirms that it's not a normal fee. Because, yes, Mythic does take a fee on top of what it gives you for your sponsorships. This is them trying to skim off a little bit off the top. Allegedly, according to her. And also, this is all alleged. Remember, alleged. I have to keep saying it a ton of times. You're going to get very annoyed with me. But legally, I have to say it because it's not a legal case yet. Note, this is similar to what the agency VShojo did to their talents, skimming sponsor money. They're sending less to the talent that was actually negotiated. Grimmi is telling all talents with Mythic to request documentation of negotiations for companies they were sponsored by. The contracts they signed won't show the real amount Mythic was paid by the sponsor to go to the talent. Only the amount that the talent was told to be paid by Mythic. And so they need to be shown the correspondence between companies to check if the amount is correct. She obviously left Mythic, and quite a few other talents have been leaving recently without giving any public reason as to why. And like Vienna has, Tobbs and other people have as well, I believe. There are people who, you leave for different reasons. Some people have very good experiences. And here's the thing, even if you have very good experiences, you can still be having things skimmed off the top. That's the big issue. Let's go back to what we've seen here. $4,400 was the original amount that was supposed to be paid to her. This wasn't pre-fees. This was after fees were negotiated. After the percentage that Mythic was supposed to take off the top, this was the amount that was supposed to go to her. There's a different finder's fee or whatever you want to call it on the top that is paid separate from what is supposed to be paid to the talent. This $4,400 that you see here, just so I can make sure that you guys understand it, if I'm understanding this correctly, this $4,400 here is the amount that is agreed that is going to be going after the fees to the talent. This is the net amount, not the gross amount that's being paid. Gross amount being paid is before all fees and other things, percentages are taken out. This is the gross, the net amount that's going to go to her, and before taxes is going to be gross technically for her, all that kind of stuff. But in these type of things here, this is supposed to be the net amount that she receives. Same thing here. This was the $2,000 offer is what supposedly she's getting paid, but here $2,100 they said is what's supposed to be going to Grimmi. That's why it says here Grimmi $2,100, and she's cutting out the part that would have Mythic's pay, like the amount that Mythic had. So all of this stuff is they already got their percentage that they were going to get, but they're also allegedly skimming off the top to get a little bit more. If it is true, again, I do not doubt Grimmi personally, but legally I do have to say, if this is true, if the allegations are true, and she has evidence of these allegations, that is, I won't say exactly what it could be. It could be, in a way, fraud. It could be seen as fraud from the agency itself. They could open themselves to fraud investigations and things like that, I believe. I am not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. So this is what I see. And going back here to what people are saying, can't necessarily say I'm shocked that Mythic would allegedly pull this type of stunt, given that they and the ex-LSF mod, Livestream Fails mod, both actively promoted a scam. And that is a scam that I talked about before. A big Amazon, creator clash type of thing that was going to be happening on Amazon Prime. I had mentioned that before. And and it was a scam. It was a crypto bro scam type of thing. I would not be shocked if it gets out that Mythic was a scam all the way down. For LSF mod drama, he claims they promoted it, but then again, it comes from the mouth of said mod, which at this point is an unreliable narrator. quick search, they do appear mentioned that there's no proof of the document that puts them in the actual thing. Mythic Talent, owned by Asmongold, is one of the shadiest talent agencies out there. Not only, this is according to this person, these aren't my words, just want to let you know, in case you are just a listener, not a viewer. It says, not only do they seem to be double dipping their cut of the sponsorship, the whole $1 million fan sweepstakes was a Mythic Talent scam, as well, alleged. There was one that they were involved in. They may not have known about everything, just have to be honest here. As well as ACR America's Card Room was another scam they promoted where the talent never was paid. Top of all that, Mythic quite obviously view-bots their talent. This is also an allegation for better sponsorship rates. This is very apparent with Asmongold, but when Miskiff and Tectone were parts of the talent agency, more than half of the Mythic Talent's roster frequently has bottom metrics, and it's pretty clear what they are doing. Companies owned by Asmongold, it's highly likely to be doing some type of fraud scam. If this is true with OTK, Mythic, and even Mad Mushroom, just bad news all around. Non-accusatory way of saying that they're view-botting. So yeah, there are allegations of view-botting with the whole organization. I'm not an avid watcher of her, but I noticed Filian, who was a pretty big VTuber, was a part of Mythic and left it. She may have set a particular videos on stream, but I wouldn't know. Also, that VTuber drama guy, Mujin, works under Mythic. It definitely can reach a lot more people if you made a video on it. False ID is also there, but False ID, remember, is graduating from doing the VTuber news. He is not graduating. My bad. Misspoke. Indefinite hiatus. It's an indefinite hiatus. He might be back. He could be back. He's leaving it open. And we will wait to see what happens. I wish him the best in whatever he's doing. But he is, as seen in this Mythic Talent thing, he, Shy Lily, and others are a part of it. VTubers are a part of it. Now, are they only doing it to VTubers, or are they doing it to everyone else? We don't know. Mujin got into his own drama recently because he claimed he knew Tectone had been abusing his partner and only pretended to carry on being friendly with Tectone until he lost his court case. In addition, he didn't want to make a video on it since he wanted everyone to be able to move on or something. So now we're talking about Mujin, but let's continue on. Talent agency owned by Asmongold stealing people's money. What a surprise. Goddamn, Grimmi has been through so much already. Can't she just work with a single person company without them taking advantage of her? They're talking about also, remember, VShojo stopped her from getting one of the top C-level execs of VShojo stopped her from getting an opportunity with a certain Blue Dorito company, as I call them usually. And let's take a look here. Erno says, turns out they effed her over for sponsorship money and lied about it allegedly. Something VShojo was known to do, especially near the end. Not the kind of black, but still, not the Niji kind of black, but still a very dark thing to do. And here are the two things that I showed you before. These are the things that the sponsor allowed her to share. These are all allegations because, again, like I say, I'm always saying allegations, accusations, because they haven't been shown in a court of law. Which company is they? Mythic. Other people are saying, Rev, if you see this, please include the reply. My commission is open. I want to make more figures. Anyone on a figure oh, I don't know why they put this in there. These Western streamers and indie VTubers are so eager to point out the flaws of the evil Japanese idol corpos. Then they are shown to be borderline evil or dumb when it comes to money. Most of these non-GP corpos are effing VTubers over more often as it seems of late. And here we go, Kuririnji as well. Summary of the recent allegations against talent agency Mythic Talent from our YouTube drama. Mythic Talent has been allegedly skimming money off the top of sponsors. Same thing as VShojo did. VTuber Grimmi found out this information by getting in contact with the sponsor that she had really close ties with and she previously worked with. And that is the things that I showed you before. So the talent agency who said to take part in the sponsorship to pay their bills is taking their due. I'm guessing that Mythic probably takes 5% of the sponsorships as their fee. In these two cases, the sponsor offered to pay the fee so Grimmi could get the full sponsorship payout. Be curious to see the full correspondence between Mythic and the dev from the first example. Isn't that the explicit business model? Yes. But this is alleged to be, like I mentioned before, if it was just the fee, that'd be different. But they told her, oops, that was a mistake. If it was a fee on this first one, on this one here, if it was just a fee, why would Mythic pay her the $2,100? When it was supposed to be $2,000 she was supposed to get, that, oops, mistake, that was on our part, here you go, the extra $100. Why would they do that if it was just a fee? Be like, oh, remember, we do take a 5% fee, finder's cut, whatever you want to call it, which is normal in the industry. At least for talent agencies. They take their own cut. It says, Mythic needs to clarify with things like this, cuts being taken, and remind that issues will, of course, happen in a large-scale agency like themselves. Others working with Mythic can speak up too, but they're playing it mostly safe currently, which is fair. Seems like communication and transparency between talents and agents. Yeah, it's an issue there. Not Asmon or Tectone related are like some are using. Glad Grimmi went to talk instead of vague posting after being court rated twice from talents with good things to say. It is something that can be fixed. It can be fixed. They need more transparencies. Other people here are, adding other individuals. It says, are we talking 5% over the agency rate? It's allegedly 5% over the agency rate because she was also allegedly paid the money that was supposedly taken out. So this is 5% over the agency rate. If true, then fair enough. I'll rescind yesterday's comment about her. So yeah, people are angry. I am angry if this is true. This is not fair to Grimmi or false or anybody else in case if it's happened to any of them. Right now, all we know of is Grimmi, and Grimmi has a lot more in her pocket. She has a lot more that she's not sharing. She already said that last time, because it might be a actual case where she's trying to retrieve her money, or at the very least, get Mythic censured, legally for what they are doing. If she can prove it in a court of law, I do recommend she goes for it. But this is what I have for you guys. You guys let me know in the comments below. This is a special one because I usually don't do these single story videos, but this is a special one because it is that egregious. I just had to go and talk about it. Thank you guys for watching as always, and of course take a look, and if you enjoy everything, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, all those things that YouTube asks of you. Really do appreciate you. Have a wonderful day.